Hey squad, I forgot to film an intro, so gotta do that now. If you're like working on a project or you're doing work and you need like background noise, that's what I figured this video could be. I'm still trying to recover from that last one. You could probably tell by the thumbnail if you're if you've read a lot of creepypastas, which I thought I had. I thought I've read a lot of creepypastas. No, how have I never read that one? Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm still trying to heal from whatever that was. Hi! Hi, baby. Can you see him? Oh my gosh, how's my baby boy? He's been like super cuddly today, which is not like him at all. Usually he's trying to kill me somehow. If you enjoy, or at least attempt the first two stories, I thoroughly enjoyed. Let's just get into it. I'm trying to find like the yes, written by Jeff DeKilla 69. This one's called Honky the Clown. I have no idea what this one's about. Also, I think Honky the Clown is actually like a Party City clown, or a Spirit Halloween clown, like animatronic that you can buy. I'm pretty sure. I think that's an actual clown. But again, I don't know if this is actually a creepypasta, but I love clowns, and this one's really short. I'm like, let's do it. I love clowns. Nearly everyone has some kind of phobia or great fear, rational or otherwise. Yours might be something like great heights, bugs, or even the fear of dying alone. Wanting so badly to find that special someone, but being so scared of rejection you never even try, leaving you to wallow in self-pity as you play Honey Pop 3. Sorry. Now there's feet pics while crying hysterically as you realize you're out of fresh socks. What did I just read? It's no fear of mine. Mine is coulrophobia, the fear of clowns. You might wonder where it came from. There's no shortage of scary clowns in children's media after all. The Joker, Pennywise, killer clowns from outer space, or even the clown from Dead by Daylight. Or was it a deep dive into the psyche of John Wayne Gacy that forever made me wary around these face-painted freaks? While I've certainly seen my fair share of those scary media clowns, my experience was more personal, one I'll never forget. It was the early summer of 1993. Back then, music was still cool, video games were still cool, and everything was always better than it is now. I'm not nostalgia blind. I'm just better than you. If you're one of those Redditors who think you were born in the wrong generation, you're completely right. Anyway, since I want my story to be believable, I am now going to describe the day in excruciating detail until you wonder where the punchline is going to be. Alright, I love this person. This isn't even, at least, hey, it's not badly written. It was June 28th, and I was turning 7 years old that day. It was a little overcast, but that was fine. The sun was still providing a comfortable temperature through the clouds. The whole year, I had been begging my parents to take me to some kind of great show. I already had my share of favorite toys and ES, since the N64 wasn't out yet. I couldn't think of a new toy that I really wanted. My parents eventually decided on a birthday gift, a family trip to the Creepypastas circus. If you think CP stands for anything funny, you're the weirdo and not me. It was a pretty weird name, but I didn't think much of it at the time. I just thought Creepypasta was some weird European name, like circa... I'm American, I can't read that. Circa de... And luckily for us, the circus had set up very close to my hometown. It was practically within walking distance, though Dad insisted on driving anyway. When we got there, I bolted out of my seat real quick, excitedly hopping up and down. Like any good circus grounds, there were some booths and with games, prizes, and candy. This was also back when circuses with animals were still normal. So there were even a few cages holding exotic animals you would normally only see at zoos or on TV. Listen, all I'm saying is, if animals don't want to be used for our entertainment, then why did they let themselves get captured in the first place? Are they stupid? Don't slander the animals like that. My mom gave me some pocket money and told me to remain within sight and to be back in half an hour. That's when the doors to the big top tent would open and we would take our seats. I ran around and played some games. First, I tried the ball toss, but accidentally hit the carny. I would do that. But like the little bastard I was, I stole a shitty plushie while he was reeling in pain and then ran to one of those stalls with a fortune teller animatronic inside. I gave him a quarter and he came to life. I was excited to hear my fortune until I heard his prediction. Your future is doomed, that I guarantee. If you continue snooping as usual, I see. I felt weirded out and backed away. While I was looking for my next distraction, I saw it. A carriage with plenty of bright colors. The back of the carriage was had bright yellow corners around a red circle with the face of a clown inside, smiling. He looked like most other circus clowns, a painted face with yellow triangles around his eyes and a big red nose, matching a red smile painted around his lips. He wore a tiny yellow top hat on his head. I could only see a poofy collar around the neck, and the rest of his outfit was not painted on the carriage. Above the circle, a white banner with orange letters spelled out his name, Honky the Clown. I was so excited to see him, but a small feeling in my stomach made the sight of the clown not as joyous as it should be. My mom called me over, and I started making my way back, taking one final look over at Honky's carriage. Did he always look that way? I made it back just in time for my parents to show their tickets, and we took our seats. Mom even had a bucket of popcorn for all of us. The ringmaster appeared with a drum roll accompanying him, taking off his big top hat with a theatrical bow as music played. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Carl Peter Pasta, and this is my fantastic circus. Tonight, feast your eyes on entertainment that will definitely not give you any long-lasting traumas or nightmares. Without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Entry of the Gladiators, that song that always plays in circuses from movies, you know the one, blared from the speakers on the show, and as the show began. It was amazing. Acrobats, animals, and even a fire dancer. It was all great. But then it happened. I think my sister's up. I can't let her hear me reading about Honky the Clown. So I'm going to quiet my voice a little. Everyone cheered as the circus song played once again. Honky casually walked in and waved to the audience. A sense of dread formed in my stomach, and then the horror began. He pulled out several pieces of brightly colored rubber and began inflating them with a pump. I watched in utter shock and awe as he began bending and twisting the rubber in unnatural, ungodly ways until they no longer resembled ordinary balloons. They were horrific recreations of animals, dogs, birds, butterflies, and even a monkey, all made from rubber. He released the animals, and the kids, some of which were classmates of mine, tried catching one for themselves. I couldn't look at them. I could only pray to God my parents wouldn't catch one. Next, an assistant rolled in a comically small tricycle, and he started to ride around on it with his big clown shoes. I couldn't fathom why anyone would want to look so ridiculous. I reasoned he was probably a mentally unstable creep or possessed by Satan. That's so mean. I want to be a clown. I thought the horror couldn't get any worse until he said he was hungry. Another assistant brought in one of those cheap cream pies. I hear you snickering back there. Don't fucking laugh at my traumatic backstory. I love this person. And he intended to eat it, but then he tripped over his own feet and fell face first into the pie, covering himself with the substance. This level of silliness was not humanly possible. I finally broke and started bawling my eyes out, much to everyone's annoyance. I refused to calm down. Neither the stern or gentle approach could stop me from wanting to get the hell out of Dodge. The clown looked straight at me, even trying to speak to me. Hey kiddo, there's no need to cry. I'm perfectly fine, see? He came up to me with a funny little walk cycle until he was right next to me. Sensing danger, I punched him straight in the dick and could swear I heard a honking noise as he doubled over in pain. Mr. Pasta asked my parents to leave, and they obliged. We drove home in a comfortable silence. My dad almost grounded me, but Mom reminded him it was my birthday and I was simply sent straight to bed with a stern talking to. I didn't care. I narrowly escaped the clutches of that incredibly terrifying clown. That was all that mattered to me. When I went back to school that Monday, my jaw dropped as I realized my classmates were totally fine and I was just being a little shit for no reason. From that day on, I was forever known in school as a Johnny Dipshit clown CBT practitioner. That was such a good story. It was well written. It's just funny. I love clowns. I love clowns so much. Okay, this next one I found on a site literally called trollpasta.com. And so I'm just assuming it's a collection of bad creepypastas. And if this wasn't from Creepypasta, it's awful and I have to read it to you because I read the very last sentence and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. So this one's called The Dark Attic. I wasn't able to find like an author for it though, so I'm just we're just going to assume the name of the character is also the name of the author because I couldn't find anything. Anyway, the dark attic. Hello, my name is Kevin. I live in a countryside in Edmonton, a little city. I actually live near the city. I moved there in 2004. It started on January 12th. Hey Moira, what's wrong? I said. My sis, Moira, said, No. But actually, this house is giving me the creeps. I noticed that she wasn't happy with the new house. Me and her actually loved living in the public residential area, but you can't live in the same place all your life, right? Well, maybe not. Anyway, my mom, Kate, was very happy with the house. I was just feeling normal about the house. 2 hours later, we were having our first dinner in the house. Suddenly, we heard a smash in the attic. We all jumped up and looked. What the hell is going on? What the hell? My dad, Levin, said that. My dad loved the house. The way my sis was only 10, I was only 14. We looked all around the place. My heart was pounding. Then my sis noticed it was a lamp in the attic. Suddenly, we were all calm. We went back eating. 5 hours later, I was about to go to sleep because it was 4:23. Oh, like a.m.? Oh, okay, like a.m., not p.m. I was about to say, that is early. I was playing with my Xbox 360. MW2, of course. Hee hee. My family were sleeping like a knocked out boxer. What is any of this? Then a noise, like someone kicked a wooden plank. I suddenly took a flashlight and went up to the attic. Then that creature was there. He was staring at me like a camera. I just screamed. And it grabbed me. I went into a blackout for about 30 minutes. This has to be written by AI. This is not written by a person. I woke up when my mom was hanged. What? I ran out of the house and drove out. Oh, he stole the car? All of a sudden, I crashed because I was 14 and I didn't know how to drive. Oh my god, this is fantastic. Then I started to run and the creature appeared in front of me. I fell down and fell into a coma. I woke up in the attic, hearing police sirens outside, with blood covered all over me. And my family was dead, and the bodies were covering me. I cursed that day when I moved into that house. The attic is haunting my dreams. The creature was trying to kill me. I can't say anything. What was that? That was just as horrible as I had hoped it would be. That was horrible. Wow. My next one? I forgot. Cupcakes. I saw it was My Little Pony. I said, perfect. The author is named Sergeant Sprinkles. There's a part of me that prays that whoever put this up here is wrong about that, but Sergeant Sprinkles wrote... Okay. I want to say I know this one, but I'm not recalling ever reading it. I love cupcakes, so we're in for a treat. Let's begin. The air was warm, the sun was shining, and every pony in Ponyville was having a glorious day. The town square was bustling and crowded, and busy ponies filled the streets. All the pony folk seemed to have somewhere specific to be, all except Rainbow Dash. Her place was in the sky. She tore freely through the air, speeding one way and the next, buzzing the tree tops and racing the wind. The blue Pegasus swooped over a schoolyard, much to the delight of the children, then climbed several hundred feet and dove, streaking downward as fast as she could. Seconds before hitting the ground, her wings flew open and she pulled up back into the clear blue. Rainbow felt alive. Suddenly, Dash remembered that she had somewhere to be. She was supposed to meet with Pinkie Pie in 5 minutes. I forgot how awful some of these names are. Pinkie Pie. Jesus Christ. Dash had gotten so caught up in her exercises that she had nearly forgotten about Pinkie. Pinkie had asked to meet her at Sugar Cube Corner at 3. Pinkie hadn't said why or what they'd be doing, but Dash knew that with Pinkie stop saying it, it could be anything. Dash wasn't sure if she really wanted to go, though. She was so engaged with her stunts that she thought about blowing Pinkie off to continue flying. But Dash's conscience got the better of her. She knew that it would hurt Pinkie's feelings. After all, Pinkie had said it was going to be something special just for the two of them. Dash considered it and thought, why not? What does she have to lose? Heck, it might be more pranking. Pinkie might have found a bunch more stuff to pull on folks, and they'd had so much fun the last time. Dash kicked into overdrive to make up for lost time and sped to her appointment. When Dash walked into the store, she was immediately greeted by her host, who was bouncing in excitement.
Yay, you're here! I've been waiting all day,
said the jumping pony. Sorry if I'm
late, Pinkie.
I was doing my afternoon exercises and lost track of time, Dash apologized. Pinkie giggled and responded in a gleefully reassuring tone.
Oh, that's okay. You're here now.
That's how I envision she speaks.
Want a few more minutes? I've been so excited about all fun stuff we're gonna do.
I haven't stopped bouncing since I woke up. Bounce on it.
I mean, I almost forgot to breathe. I've been so happy.
Dash gave a slightly uncomfortable laugh, but she had always appreciated Pinkie Pie's friendly, outgoing way of life. But Pinkie's overabundant enthusiasm almost creeped her out. Dash maintained a polite expression, however. If Pinkie was this worked up, whatever she had planned must be good. So, you ready to get... Oh, wait. Sorry.
So, you ready to get started, Rainbow Dash? I've got everything all ready,
the pink pony said. Which one's Pinkie Pie? I forgot. Hold on. God, I hate that name. Oh! That one! Where'd I leave off? Oh, Dash psyched herself up. You betcha, Pinkie. So, what do you got planned? We gonna prank somebody? I got a couple of good ones I've been thinking about. Or maybe you've got some stunts you think I could try? Or perhaps
baking cupcakes!
Oh my god, calm down. Pinkie happily announced. Baking? Dash was disappointed. Pinkie, you know I'm not good at baking. Remember last time?
Oh, that's not a problem at all. I only need your help making them. I'll be doing most of the work,
Pinkie explained. Dash thought for about it? What? Dash thought about it for a second. Well, alright. I guess that's okay. What exactly do you need me to do?
That's the spirit. Here you go.
Pinkie handed Dash a cupcake. Oh, uh-oh. Dash was puzzled. I thought I was helping you bake.
You will. I made this one just for you before you got here.
So, is this like taste testing or something?
Sorta,
Pinkie said. Dash shrugged and popped the pastry in her mouth. No, I don't trust this bitch. She chewed a bit and swallowed. Not bad. Okay, now what? Dash asked.
Now,
Pinkie informed her,
you take a nap.
Puzzled, Dash opened her mouth but felt instantly lightheaded. A wave of dizziness washed over her. The world spun, and seconds later she collapsed to the floor. When Dash regained consciousness, she found herself in a dark room. She tried to shake her head, but found that a taut leather strap held it firmly in place. She struggled to move, but braces around her chest and limbs glued her to a rack formed from a series of sturdy planks, which spread her legs wide apart. What? Oh my god, what am I reading? Oh no! Wait, this isn't gonna go into like stuff, is it? Because I didn't even read like a summary of this. I was just told it's bad. Oh no. Dash's wings were the only part of her not tied down, and they fluttered frantically while she struggled to escape. As she writhed, Pinkie jumped suddenly into her line of sight.
Goody, you're awake. Now we can get started,
Pinkie stated gleefully. She bounded into the darkness and quickly reappeared pushing a small cart covered with a cloth. Pinkie, what's going on? I can't move, Dash said urgently.
Well, duh, that's because you're tied down,
chided Pinkie.
That's why you can't move. I don't think you need to be told that.
But why? What's happening? I thought you said I was going to help make cupcakes.
You are helping. You see, I ran out of the special ingredient.
What is this leading to?
You see, I ran out of the special ingredient, and I need you to get more.
Special ingredient? Dash was now breathing heavily and started to panic. What special ingredient? Pinkie giggled and responded,
You silly.
Dash's eyes widened and her face contorted in fear. Then she started to laugh and said in a voice bordered on hysteria, "They got me there, Pinkie Pie! I mean, tricking me into thinking I'm gonna get made into a cupcake? I gotta tell you, this is the best prank yet. You win. You're the best. Pinky only giggled even more.
Oh, thanks, Dash, but I haven't done any pranks today, so I can't accept your praise.
Dash was struggling again. Pinky, come on, this isn't funny.
Then why are you laughing?
Before Dash could answer, Pinky grabbed the cloth and whipped it off the cart. On the cart was a tray containing various sharp medical tools and knives, carefully organized and wickedly sharp, as well as a large medical bag. Dash was now in full panic mode. She was starting to hyperventilate. Her mind raced as she tried to reason with the pink pony. You can't do this, Pinky. I'm your friend.
I know you are, and that's why I'm so happy that I've got you here. We get to share your last moments together, just you and me.
Pinky was skipping again. But the other ponies won't wonder where I am. When the clouds pile up, they'll come looking for me, and then you'll get found out. Oh, Dash cried in desperation. Oh, that wasn't really a desperate tone.
Oh, Dash, said Pinky, don't worry. There are plenty of Pegasus ponies to take care of a few clouds. And besides, no one will find out. I mean, how long do you think I've been doing this?
And with that ominous statement, the light suddenly came to life and revealed the rest of the room. Dash reeled in horror at the image presented to her. The room was decorated with a typical but twisted Pinkie Pie flair. Colorful streamers of dried entrails fluttered around on the ceiling. Brightly painted skulls of all sizes were attached to the walls, and organs done up in pastels filled with helium were tied to the backs of the chairs. The tables and chairs were made of bones, and the preserved flesh of past ponies. Why is she suddenly becoming one of my favorite ponies? Dash cringed upon seeing the centerpiece of the table nearest to her. The heads of 4 foals, their eyes closed as if they were sleeping, were wearing party hats made from their own skin. With a thrill of terror, Dash recognized one of them as Apple Bloom's classmate, Twist. Dash's eyes darted back and forth, then fell upon a patchwork banner hanging from the rafters, made from several tanned pony hides. The words "Life is a Party" were scrawled on it in blood red. Dash's attention was brought back by a party horn unfurling and tickling her nose. She gaped at Pinkie Pie, who was standing right in front of her. The party pony was wearing a dress quilted from dried skin, emblazoned with cutie marks. On her back fluttered 6 Pegasus wings, all of different colors. That's honestly so cool. As the Earth Pony skipped in excitement, her necklace of severed unicorn horns clacked together loudly.
Like it? Pinkie asked. I made it myself.
Desperately, Dash pleaded with the smiling pony before her. Pinkie, please, I'm sorry. If I did anything to you, I didn't mean it. Please let me go. I promise I won't tell anybody.
Oh, Dash, you didn't do anything. It's just that your number came up, and well, I don't make rules. We can't turn back now.
Dash was tearing up. How could this be happening?
Aw, don't be sad, Dash, said Pinkie. Look, this'll cheer you up. I brought you a friend.
Seemingly out of nowhere, Pinkie produced a brightly painted blue and yellow skull. It was about pony size, but it had a very defining feature. A beak. Dash gaped in shock. Is that? Hey, Dash, let's hang out together. These ponies are lame-os. Dweebs. Oh, Pinkie mimicked. Whoops, my bad. I caught her
right before she left town. Remember when I left the party for about 20 minutes? That wasn't enough time to play with her, of course. I had to wait till after the party to do that. But boy, am I glad I did. It was worth it for the flavor alone. Pins taste like 2 animals at once. It's amazing. I know she didn't have a number like everyone else in Ponyville, but when was I gonna get another chance to try Griffin? I probably should have asked where she came from so I could have gotten more, but I forgot. I'll tell you what though, she was quite the fighter. She lasted a long time, which was a lot of fun for me. I got the chance to play with somebody other than a pony and try new things. It's too bad she had such a meanie mouth. She said so much bad stuff. I just had to take her tongue out. You know, bad language makes for bad feelings, Rainbow Dash.
I shouldn't be as in love with Pinkie Pie as I am right now. Not in that way. She's like Art the Clown if Art the Clown could speak. Dash didn't have anything to say. She just sobbed and writhed in her tight bonds.
Well,
said Pinkie with an air of finality.
That's enough reminiscing. It's time to begin.
Putting down Gilda's skull. Okay, hold on. More research. Okay, Gilda? Wait, hold on. Okay, it says Gilda is likely 25 years old. Oh, thank God. Putting down Gilda's skull, the pink pony gripped a scalpel in the cleft of her hoof and walked over to Dash's right flank. Without any flair, Pinky placed the blade an inch above Dash's cutie mark and began a circular cut around it. Dash shouted in pain and tried desperately to pull away, but the braces held her still. Finishing the incision, Pinky grabbed a curved skinning knife from the tray. Covering up her face in concentration, she worked it under Dash's skin and sliced the hide away from the muscle. Dash ground her teeth as she tearfully watched her flesh peel off. Can I put this in? Pinky then moved to the other side and repeated the process on Dash's left flank. Once she had finished, Pinky held up both cutie marks in front of her friend and started waving them like pom-poms. Dash just whimpered. Her thighs burned like nothing she had felt before. Placing the ragged patches of skin down, Pinky selected a large butcher knife and walked behind the blue Pegasus.
Hope you don't mind. I think I'm gonna wing it now.
Pinky laughed. She grabbed Dash's left wing in her mouth and played with it for a few seconds, yanking it back so the sharp pain reignited the fire in Dash's flanks. Then stretching the wing out, Pinky brought the blade down hard at the base. Instantly, Dash screamed and thrashed her appendage. The movement threw off Pinky's aim. She tried to hit the mark again, but missed, and carved a huge slice in Dash's back.
Dash, you gotta stay still, or I'll keep missing,
scolded Pinky as her friend howled. Pinky took another whack and hit her target. She swung again and again. Blood sprayed into the air, but Pinky realized she wasn't getting anywhere. The blade just wasn't going through the bone.
I guess I forgot to sharpen it. I'll try something else,
stated Pinky matter-of-factly as she tossed the knife over her shoulder, embedding the blade in the table. Through the haze of pain and tears, Dash heard the sound of a metal box opening and closing.
Got it. Say, Dash, why do they call it a hacksaw? It doesn't hack. Hacking is what I was doing with the knife. This is a saw. I don't get it.
Pinky placed the tool over the mangled flesh of the last attempt. Standing on her hind legs, she worked the saw back and forth with her front hooves. It sliced effortlessly through the bone and skin. The feeling of the jagged teeth grinding into her made Dash want to vomit. She watched numbly as her wing flew over her head and landed with a fluff on the table. Pinky moved to the next wing and started sawing. Dash didn't struggle this time. She'd given up trying to fight and focused on choking back screams of agony. Abruptly, the sawing paused. Pinky was only halfway done, the wing hanging off by a sliver.
Hey, Dash, Pinky piped up. Think fast.
Suddenly, Pinky yanked the wing as hard as she could. The bones snapped, but the blue pony's skin held, then tore away. The pull ripped away a long strip of flesh all the way down Dash's back. Dash felt a warm release. I just read like one sentence ahead, and I can't tell if it's the blood or if she crashing out. What is this? Dash awoke with a gasp. Her vision swam into focus. She saw very pouty Pinkie Pie removing a large adrenaline needle from her chest. Stomping her hooves, the frustrated Pinkie lashed out at her helpless victim.
Didn't anybody teach you any manners? It's very rude to fall asleep when somebody invites you over to spend time with them. How would you like it if I came over to your house and went to sleep? Oh, I'm sorry, Dash. You're so boring. I think I'll take a nap. You think I like always doing this by myself? I told you how excited I got when I found you were next. I was excited to have a friend be here with me while I worked, but no. You got to be inconsiderate. You know, I thought you were tough. I thought you could handle anything. I've had foals stand up better than you. Do I have to baby you? Huh? Is that how you want me to remember you, as a baby?
Pinkie stopped to catch her breath. Dash blinked and sobbed softly. Her back was in agony, her sides were on fire, and there was an intense pain in one of her legs. As she blinked again, she saw Pinkie pop something red into her mouth and began to chew. Noticing Dash's stare, Pinkie quickly gulped the morsel down.
What?
Pinkie asked.
Oh, this?
She held up another piece.
Well, while you were asleep, I got a little impatient and helped myself to a small sample. I got it from your leg. You're not bad. Want to try some?
Without waiting for a response, Pinky shoved a strip of meat into the revolted Pegasus pony's mouth. Dash gagged and immediately spit it out. Pinky frowned and picked up the chunk of flesh.
If you didn't want it, you could have said no.
She contemplated the discarded, snotty morsel, then gulped it.
It's not like you haven't had my cupcakes before.
Swallowing, Pinky turned her attention to a small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing that it was filled with red-hot coals. Lying on top of the coals were several large nails. As the adrenaline filled her veins, Dash began to panic again. Picking up the can, Pinky walked over to Dash's left, holding some tongs with her mouth. Pinky carefully picked up a nail and positioned it at the seam between her victim's front leg and hoof. She then remembered a hammer and took careful aim.
No, Pinky!
Dash screamed.
No, no!
The hammer came down and the nail punctured Dash's skin. The white hot burning was too much. Dash screamed as she pulled and thrashed at the braces, causing her raw skin to rub and tear. Pinky tried to line up another nail, but couldn't find her aim, and let out a frustrated grunt. When Pinky brought the hammer back to take a wild swing, Dash burst out crying and begging, "Please stop! Please, please stop!" Pinky rolled her eyes. Putting down the hammer and tongs, she walked back in front of her friend and stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much when she had a live parasite stuffed down her throat. Pinky thought for a minute about what to do next, then had a sudden spark of inspiration. Rotating a wheel on the rack, Pinky laid Dash on her back, then moved to Dash's hind legs, bringing the can with her. Picking up her tools, Pinky drove a searing hot spike of metal directly into the bottom of Dash's hoof. As Dash yelled in pain, Pinky moved around and drove a second nail into the other hoof. Next, Pinky went back to her cart and located an enormous battery and controller, which she dragged over to where she was working. She tied copper wires between the terminals and the nails driven. Oh my god. Is this allowed? Then gave Dash a wink and flipped the switch. Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Her body seized and her muscles snapped taut. I'm gonna skip some of this. Pinky giggled and danced in place, then reached down and turned up the juice. Oh, turned up the voltage. Okay. Dash convulsed uncontrollably. About 5 minutes, After 5 minutes, Pinky shut off the power. A wisp of steam rose from the singed fur around Dash's hooves, and the area reeked of cooked flesh and burnt enamel.
Dash! Dash! Rainbow Dash! Wake up!
Dash moaned and managed to give a modicum of weak acknowledgement. Pinky studied her handiwork, then reached into the medicine bag and produced a large syringe.
Alright, time for the last round.
Dash focused blearily on the needle, which Pinky took as a question as to what it was.
This is a little something to take the pain away,
Pinky informed Dash as she walked around to her victim's ruined back. Dash flinched as Pinky jabbed the needle into the lower part of the blue pony's spine. Moving in front of her friend again, Pinky leaned down and elaborated.
In a few minutes, you won't be able to feel anything below your rib cage. Then you'll be able to stay awake to watch the harvest.
Dash started to cry again. Pinky, she choked out.
Yeah?
I want to go home, Dash sobbed.
Yeah, I can see you wanting to do that,
replied the party pony.
Sometimes I just want to give up. Just say I'm done with this mess and go to bed. But you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself up and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life.
Dash hung her head and cried. Minutes passed as the drug took effect. Eventually, Dash was completely numb from her chest to her flanks. At this point, Pinky approached with a scalpel. Glancing at Dash and smiling, Pinky made a long horizontal cut across the Pegasus pony's pelvis. Moving up Dash's body, Pinky made a similar incision under her ribs. Finally, Pinky made a long vertical cut down Dash's stomach, connecting the first two.
It looks like I got my eye on you, Dash.
I understand the incision she's making. Okay. I was so confused reading that. With a moist, gooey sound, the flaps of skin opened. The sight of her own organs and the lack of feeling caused Dash's breathing to intensify. Pinky carefully sliced open Dash's abdominal sac. and grabbed her large intestines as she separated the organ from the rest of the digestive tract and pulled it out of the new cavity. Pinky grew jovial, laughing as she gutted her friend. Pinky began to make jokes. Dash, growing weaker from this new source of blood loss, tried desperately to shut out the macabre comedy act.
Look at me, I'm Rarity.
Pinky laughed, slinging the intestinal tube around her neck and spraying blood in all directions.
Isn't my new scarf so pretty?
Reaching back inside, she sliced the smaller intestine off from the bowels. Yeah, squeezing out the excess excrement. Oh my god, that's disgusting. You mean she hasn't already shit herself? I would have shit myself in the beginning when I saw her standing above me with a scalpel. Pinky filed the slimy organ through her teeth and dragged it back and forth.
Dentists say you gotta floss every day, Dash.
Dash was barely aware of what was going on anymore. The shock was causing her to fade. Disappointed, Pinky dived back into the blue pony's guts, ramping up her routine.
Aw, don't go yet, Dash,
Pinky started, pulling at the rest of Dash's organs, pausing with each removal.
I know I can be a real pancreas.
What?
I know I can be a real pancreas, but you know I'm just kidding with you.
Okay, they tried too hard for a joke. That was bad. But the next sentence is entirely just puns, and I refuse to read it. He placed the discarded body parts into a bucket, keeping the last one for a bit longer.
Ooh, bagpipes!
She said, placing the end of Dash's esophagus in her mouth and the stomach in her armpit. She squeezed, and a spurt of acid hit her tongue.
Ew, oh, hey look, there's your cupcake, Dash.
Dash didn't hear her tormentor. She had slipped from consciousness minutes ago. Pinky, not yet satisfied, hit Dash with another adrenaline shot. Dash woke up for the last time, her heart pounding. Warm blood flowed out from the wound in her chest in great spurts. It wouldn't be long now. Pinky brought Dash around onto her back again and straddled the blue pony's chest, scalpel at the ready.
You know, Rainbow Dash, I'm disappointed. I thought you would have lasted longer. I really wanted to spend more time with you before we got here, but I guess it's my fault. I should have taken it a little slower. It was really nice knowing you, Dash.
The blade sunk into the blue throat and worked its way up to Dash's chin, coming back down. Pinky's scalpel then circled Dash's neck. The last thing Rainbow Dash felt was her skin being cut away from her skull, and the metal of the blade scraping her teeth. Then she was gone. Pinkie Pie stared in the mirror. She had done a really good job even keeping the eyelids. She winked, and Dash winked back. Pinky smiled, but still she was sad that her friend was now gone. Dash had only lasted 50 minutes, not nearly as long as Pinky had wanted. She looked back at the cadaver hanging in the center of the room. The last of her friend's fluids drained into a pan. Yep, no more Rainbow Dash. As she looked, Pinky cocked her head. She began to take notice of the fact that there really wasn't much damage to the corpse.
In fact,
the pink pony mused,
I think
an idea exploded in her head. She was good at sewing, and she had all the pieces. All she had to do was put them back together. Yeah, she just had to get some stuffing, and bingo, she'd have Rainbow Dash forever. In fact, thought Pinky, that's what she'd do for all of her best friends when their numbers came up. She was so excited. She skipped right over to the body and her skinner to get started. The cupcakes would wait. Pinkie Pie had a friend to make. What was that? What was that? I don't even know. I think I was gonna read another one, but I think that's where I'm gonna end it, because I don't know what to say to that. Okay, one thing that I keep coming back to, when in the war, Pinkie Pie began, doing all of that, when she showed up in the dress made of cutie marks with the wings, that was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I have nothing to say for that story except for that. I don't even know if this video is gonna stay up. So if you happen to see it, I need to go do anything else I subscribe, or honestly, after that, you don't have to, ever. You don't ever have to subscribe after I just did that. I don't even want to subscribe to myself. Gilda was kind of hot, though.